Chapter 1. The Encounter. The vastness of space was always a spectacle for Ethan Carter. As a seasoned explorer, he had seen countless stars, nebulas, and planetary systems, yet the allure never waned. Today, his ship, the Starlight Voyager, was on the edge of an uncharted sector of the galaxy. Reports of unusual energy signatures had piqued his curiosity, leading him to this isolated corner. Ethan's ship hovered near a small, rocky planet. Scans indicated a breathable atmosphere and traces of advanced technology. Intrigued, he decided to land and investigate. As the ship descended, he noticed signs of ancient ruins scattered across the planet's surface, hinting at a once thriving civilization. Upon landing, Ethan equipped his gear and stepped onto the barren landscape. The air was cool and thin, filled with the scent of minerals and decay. He walked towards the ruins, his footsteps echoing in the eerie silence. Suddenly, a soft cry for help broke the stillness. Ethan's heart raced as he followed the sound. Among the ruins, he found a figure collapsed on the ground. It was a female alien, her skin a delicate shade of blue with flowing silver hair and eyes that shimmered like starlight. She wore tattered garments, and her body bore signs of exhaustion and despair. "Please help me," she whispered, her voice weak and trembling. Ethan knelt beside her, offering water from his canteen. "Who are you? What happened here?" "My name is Lyra," she replied after a few sips. "I am the last of my kind. Our planet was destroyed by invaders, and I managed to escape. But my ship was damaged, and I've been stranded here ever since." Ethan's heart ached for her. "You're safe now, Lyra. I'll help you." Tears welled up in her eyes as she clutched his hand. "Thank you. I have nothing left. No home, no family. I am willing to serve you if you'll take me with you. Please, I beg of you." Ethan was taken aback by her desperation. He had never considered taking on a servant, especially not an alien. But seeing the depth of her need, he couldn't turn her away. "You don't have to serve me," he said gently. "You're welcome to join me on my travels. We'll find a way to get you back on your feet." Lyra looked at him with a mixture of hope and gratitude. "Thank you. I'll do whatever I can to help you in return." Together, they made their way back to the Starlight Voyager. As the ship lifted off the ground, Ethan couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter was the beginning of something extraordinary. Chapter 2. Journey Through the Stars. Lyra adapted quickly to life aboard the Starlight Voyager. Her knowledge of advanced technology and navigation proved invaluable, and Ethan soon realized that having her as a companion was a blessing. Despite her initial offer to serve him, Ethan treated Lyra as an equal, and their bond grew stronger with each passing day. One evening, as they traveled through a particularly dense asteroid field, Lyra shared more about her past. She spoke of her home planet, Elysia, a world of beauty and peace before the invaders came. Her people had been renowned for their wisdom and advanced technology, but they were no match for the ruthless aggressors who sought to exploit their resources. "We tried to fight back," Lyra explained, her voice tinged with sorrow. "But our defenses were overwhelmed. The invaders showed no mercy, destroying everything in their path. I was on a diplomatic mission when the attack happened. By the time I returned, it was too late." Ethan listened intently, his respect for Lyra growing with each story she told. "I'm sorry for your loss," he said. "I can't imagine what you've been through." Lyra smiled faintly. "Thank you, Ethan. Your kindness has given me hope. I believe we can find a new home for me, a place where I can start over." Their journey continued, taking them to various planets and star systems. Along the way, they encountered other beings, some friendly, others hostile. Lyra's skills in diplomacy and negotiation often saved them from dangerous situations, and Ethan admired her resilience and strength. One day, while exploring an abandoned space station, they stumbled upon a hidden cache of ancient artifacts. Among the relics was a device that emitted a faint, pulsating light. Lyra's eyes widened in recognition. "This is a star beacon," she exclaimed. "It's an ancient Elysian device used to communicate across vast distances. If we can activate it, we might be able to contact any survivors from my planet." Ethan's curiosity was piqued. "Let's give it a try." They worked together to repair and activate the star beacon. As the device hummed to life, a holographic display projected a series of coordinates and a message in an unknown language. Lyra translated it for Ethan. "It's a distress signal," she said. "There might be other Elysians out there, waiting for help." Determined to find any survivors, they set course for the coordinates provided by the star beacon. The journey took them to a remote star system, where they discovered a small colony of Elysians living in hiding. The reunion was emotional, and Lyra was overjoyed to find her people alive. The Elysians welcomed Ethan with open arms, grateful for his role in bringing Lyra to them. They shared stories of their struggles and survival, and Ethan was amazed by their resilience. He knew that he had found not only a new home for Lyra, but also a new purpose for himself. Chapter 3: A New Beginning. The Elysian colony, hidden on a lush remote moon, was a haven of tranquility and hope. The survivors had managed to rebuild a semblance of their former society, drawing upon their advanced knowledge and technology. Lyra's return was celebrated, and her presence inspired renewed determination among her people. Ethan quickly integrated into the community, offering his skills and experience as an explorer. He helped the Elysians improve their defenses and shared his knowledge of the galaxy, warning them of potential threats. In turn, he learned much from the Elysians, who possessed wisdom and insights that expanded his understanding of the universe. One evening, as the colony gathered for a communal meal, the elders invited Ethan to share his journey. He spoke of his travels, the wonders he had seen, and the challenges he had faced. The Elysians listened with rapt attention, finding hope in his tales of resilience and courage. After the meal, Lyra approached Ethan. "You've done so much for us, Ethan. We can never repay you." "You don't owe me anything," Ethan replied. "I'm just glad I could help." Lyra's eyes sparkled with gratitude. "We want you to stay with us, to become part of our community. Your knowledge and experience would be invaluable." Ethan was touched by the offer. He had always been a wanderer, never staying in one place for long. But the warmth and camaraderie he felt among the Elysians made him consider the possibility of settling down. "I'll think about it," he said, smiling. "This place feels like home." Over the following weeks, Ethan and Lyra grew closer. Their shared experiences had forged a deep bond, and they often spent time together, exploring the moon and discussing their dreams for the future. Lyra's strength and resilience continued to inspire Ethan, and he found himself falling for her. One night, under the moonlit sky, Lyra confessed her feelings. "Ethan, I've come to care for you deeply. You've given me hope and a new purpose. I can't imagine my life without you." Ethan took her hand, his heart swelling with emotion. "I feel the same way, Lyra. You've changed my life in ways I never expected. I want to be with you, to build a future together." Their love blossomed, and the Elysians welcomed their union with joy. Ethan decided to stay with the colony, dedicating himself to their cause. Together, he and Lyra worked to strengthen the community and prepare for any future threats. Chapter 4: The Rising Threat. Life on the moon was peaceful, but the Elysians remained vigilant. They knew that the invaders who had destroyed their home planet might one day return. Ethan and Lyra led efforts to fortify the colony, building advanced defense systems, and training the inhabitants in combat and survival techniques. One day, while on a routine patrol, Ethan and Lyra detected an unusual energy signature approaching the moon. Fearing the worst, they alerted the colony and prepared for a possible attack. As the energy signature grew closer, it became clear that a fleet of hostile ships was heading their way. The Elysians scrambled to defend their home, activating their defense systems and preparing for battle. Ethan and Lyra took command, coordinating the colony's efforts to repel the invaders. The first wave of enemy ships arrived, and a fierce battle ensued. The Elysians fought bravely, using their advanced technology to outmaneuver and outgun the invaders. Ethan's strategic mind and Lyra's leadership skills proved invaluable, and they managed to hold off the initial assault. However, they knew that more waves of enemy ships were on their way. As the battle raged on, Ethan realized that they needed to find a way to disable the enemy fleet's command ship. If they could take out the leader, the rest of the fleet might retreat. he and Lyra devised a daring plan to infiltrate the command ship and sabotage its systems. With a small team of elite fighters, Ethan and Lyra boarded a stealth shuttle and approached the command ship. They managed to slip past the enemy's defenses and infiltrate the ship. Inside, they fought their way through the corridors, facing fierce resistance from the invaders. Finally, they reached the ship's control center. Ethan and Lyra worked quickly to disable the command systems, while their team held off the enemy forces. Just as they were about to complete their mission, a group of heavily armed soldiers burst into the control room. A fierce battle ensued, with Ethan and Lyra fighting side by side. Despite being outnumbered, they managed to hold their ground. Lyra sustained a serious injury, but Ethan fought with renewed determination, protecting her at all costs. With a final burst of energy, they completed the sabotage and set the ship's systems to self-destruct. As alarms blared, they made a desperate escape, barely reaching their shuttle in time. The command ship exploded in a blinding flash of light, and the remaining enemy fleet retreated in disarray. Chapter 5. A Hopeful Future. The battle had been won, but at a great cost. Many Elysians had been injured or lost their lives defending their home. Ethan and Lyra mourned the fallen, vowing to honor their sacrifice by building a stronger future for their people. Lyra's injury was severe, and she spent several weeks recovering. Ethan stayed by her side, supporting her through the healing process. Their bond grew even stronger, and they knew that they were destined to face whatever challenges lay ahead together. With the threat of the invaders temporarily averted, the Elysians focused on rebuilding and strengthening their colony. They held a ceremony to honor the fallen and celebrate their victory. Ethan and Lyra were hailed as heroes, and the colony pledged to continue the fight for their freedom and survival. Ethan, now an integral part of the community, took on a leadership role, helping to plan for the future. He and Lyra worked together to establish stronger alliances with other peaceful civilizations in the galaxy, seeking to create a united front against any potential threats. As the years passed, the colony flourished, growing in strength and prosperity. Ethan and Lyra's love blossomed, and they eventually married, becoming a symbol of hope and unity for their people. They continued to explore the galaxy, always on the lookout for new opportunities and challenges. Though they faced many obstacles, Ethan and Lyra's love and determination never wavered. They knew that together they could overcome anything. Their journey had begun with a chance encounter on a desolate planet, but it had led to a new home, a new family, and a future filled with hope and promise. And so, under the light of distant stars, Ethan and Lyra looked to the future, ready to face whatever adventures awaited them. They had found love, purpose, and a new beginning, and they knew that their story was far from over. Chapter 6. The Search for the Lost Relic. Ethan and Lyra had settled into their roles within the Elysian colony, but the mystery of the invaders who had attacked them still lingered. The colony's leaders feared that another attack might come, and they needed a way to protect themselves permanently. During a council meeting, one of the elders mentioned an ancient Elysian relic known as the Shield of Aegis, a powerful artifact rumored to create an impenetrable barrier around entire planets. The relic had been lost for centuries, its location unknown even to the Elysians. Some believed it was just a myth, but others, including Lyra, had faith that it existed. Determined to secure the colony's future, Ethan and Lyra volunteered to lead an expedition to find the Shield of Aegis. Their journey began with scouring ancient Elysian texts and star maps, searching for any clues about the relic's whereabouts. After weeks of research, they found a lead, a reference to a distant star system known as the Cradle of Stars, a place where the Elysians believed the gods bestowed their greatest gifts. Ethan and Lyra set course for the Cradle of Stars, accompanied by a team of the colony's best scholars and explorers. The journey was long and filled with challenges, including navigating through treacherous asteroid fields and avoiding hostile spacefaring races. Along the way, they encountered remnants of ancient civilizations, each holding pieces of the puzzle that pointed them closer to the relic's location. As they approached the Cradle of Stars, They found themselves in a region of space filled with strange energy disturbances. The ship's sensors picked up unusual readings, indicating the presence of a powerful, unknown force. Guided by the clues they had gathered, they pinpointed the source of the disturbances, a hidden planet shrouded in a dense nebula. Landing on the planet's surface, they discovered an ancient temple, its architecture unlike anything they had seen before. Inside, the walls were adorned with intricate carvings and inscriptions, depicting the history of the Elysians and their connection to the gods. At the center of the temple, they found a massive chamber where the shield of Aegis was said to be kept. However, the chamber was guarded by a series of elaborate traps and puzzles, designed to test the worthiness of those who sought the relic. Ethan and Lyra, along with their team, worked together to solve the puzzles, using their knowledge of Elysian history and technology. The challenges were formidable, but they persevered, driven by their desire to protect their people. Finally, they reached the heart of the chamber, where the shield of Aegis lay dormant. It was a stunning artifact, a shimmering sphere of energy contained within an ornate frame. As they approached, the shield activated, projecting a holographic figure of an ancient Elysian guardian. The guardian spoke in a resonant voice, testing their intentions and resolve. Ethan and Lyra explained their mission, their desire to protect their people from the invaders. Satisfied with their answers, the guardian bestowed the shield of Aegis upon them, warning that it was a tool of great power and responsibility. With the relic in their possession, they returned to the colony, where they were greeted as heroes. The shield of Aegis was installed at the colony's center, providing an impenetrable barrier that would protect them from any future attacks. The Elysians celebrated their newfound security, and Ethan and Lyra were hailed as saviors. Chapter 7. The Last Stand. While the shield of Aegis provided the Elysians with a sense of safety, it also attracted the attention of powerful enemies. The invaders who had once destroyed Lyra's home planet had not forgotten the Elysians, and they were determined to conquer them once and for all. With the shield of Aegis now in place, the invaders saw it as both a threat and a prize to be claimed. One day, the colony detected a massive fleet of enemy ships approaching their moon. The invaders were prepared for a full-scale assault, equipped with advanced technology capable of breaching even the shield of Aegis. The Elysians, though protected, knew they couldn't rely solely on the shield to save them. Ethan, Lyra, and the colony's leaders gathered to strategize. They had to make a stand, not just to protect their home, but to send a message to their enemies that they would not be conquered. With the colony's defense systems fully operational and every able-bodied Elysian prepared to fight, they braced themselves for the onslaught. The battle that ensued was fierce and intense. The invaders launched wave after wave of attacks, their ships firing relentlessly at the shield of Aegis. Despite its power, the shield began to show signs of strain. The Elysians fought valiantly, using their advanced technology to counter the invaders' attacks. Ethan and Lyra led the defense, coordinating their forces and inspiring their people with their courage and determination. Amidst the chaos, Ethan realized that the invaders had brought a new weapon, a massive superweapon capable of destroying entire planets. If they activated it, not even the shield of Aegis could protect the colony. The Elysians needed to act fast. Ethan and Lyra devised a bold plan to take out the superweapon. They assembled a small team of elite fighters and prepared for a risky mission: to infiltrate the invaders' flagship, disable the superweapon, and turn the tide of the battle. They knew the odds were against them, but they also knew they had no choice. Using a stealth ship, Ethan, Lyra, and their team managed to slip past the enemy defenses and board the flagship. The ship was heavily guarded, but they fought their way through, determined to reach the superweapon's control center. The corridors were a maze of soldiers and security systems, but they pressed on, driven by the knowledge that their people's survival depended on them. As they reached the control center, they faced the invaders' commander, a ruthless warlord known as General Zareth. The final showdown was intense, with Ethan and Lyra facing off against Zareth and his elite guards. The battle was brutal, with Ethan sustaining injuries, but their determination and teamwork prevailed. Lyra managed to disable the superweapon's controls, rendering it inoperable. The invaders, realizing their trump card had been neutralized, began to retreat. Ethan and Lyra quickly evacuated the flagship, narrowly escaping as the Elysians launched a counterattack, driving the invaders out of their system. The Elysians celebrated their hard-fought victory, but it was a bittersweet moment. They had lost many brave souls in the battle, and the threat of the invaders still loomed large. However, they had proven their strength and resilience, and the Shield of Aegis remained a powerful symbol of their unity and determination. Ethan and Lyra stood together, looking out over the moon's landscape, now safe once more. They knew that their journey was far from over, and that the galaxy held many more challenges and adventures. But they also knew that, together, they could face anything. They had found a new home, a new family, and a love that could withstand even the darkest of times. As the stars shone brightly above them, Ethan and Lyra made a vow to protect their people, to explore the wonders of the universe, and to cherish the life they had built together. Their story was one of hope, courage, and the unbreakable bond between two souls destined to make a difference in the galaxy. And with each new day, they embraced the future, ready to face whatever adventures awaited them.